So my daughter turns 14 this year, right? And right now, I think it's just different because when he asked the question, "How do I protect my daughter from someone like you?" My daughter's not interested in boys right now. So it's like you sitting there. It's like okay, but like my sister, because my sister is 22 now. The switch was this quick. It went from daddy's little girl that ain't thinking about boys and none of that to all of a sudden, when did you become interested in boys? When did you start liking the little boys at your school? And I think, and that's one of my fears is like, man, damn, I'm fearful of when she becomes interested in boys. And I'm sitting here like, okay, you know what I mean? Without trying to figure out when to recognize the signs and what to say in that moment and how to, and what game I'm supposed to give to her. Because like, in my eyes, I'm like, damn, do I I'm trying to teach her like just don't make the big mistakes. You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do in your life, but try not to make the big mistakes. Try to protect yourself. Try not to have any babies. Try not to, you know what I mean? Because that's the stuff I'm afraid. Those are the most consequential things that have happened to her. But like the reality is kind of like Ricky said, it's like you ain't gonna stop. Once they become interested in boys and they start liking them boys and stuff, there ain't nothing you can do about it that's gonna protect them from that type of dude outside of just giving them real life, giving them the understanding of what the consequences of your decisions will be, and to try to teach them as best as you can to avoid making those type of mistakes, to avoid those kind of dudes. Because I mean, I am the regular mundane dude. Like I try to take my kids out, you know what I mean? I'll do some things, but for the most part, we live a fairly regular life. And I don't think the life that I'm living is wrong. And of course, you know, you want your kids to be better than what you were. But I would be like, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with you going out and finding another regular guy if you're a regular person. I don't want you to find the bad ones. I want you to avoid them. And those are going to be the ones that can talk you out your draws. Those are going to be the ones that's going to be smooth talking and can say the right things and can do the right things that make you tingle or whatever. But you have to be mindful of what that comes with. That's essentially what I want to teach my daughter. Right now, I'm stuck on limbo because, like I said, she's not interested in boys right now. So you can have like the general sex conversation with her, but she's not interested in boys.
You just got to set the
Well, you should talk
foundation.
to her. You should definitely talk to her about boys. How old is she?
Yeah.
Maybe I should ask that question. How old is she?
She turns 14 in
Oh yeah,
August.
you should
Yeah.
definitely have a conversation with her. And is she in public school?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so she like boys. She probably just hasn't told you about it.
Well, she has a real good relationship with her mom. So like they talk. You know what I mean? So I mean, obviously she's teetering. But she's still like look at boys like, I don't really. She has a not a laissez-faire attitude towards it, but she doesn't care.
Yeah, I understand what
No,
you're
I
saying.
can relate to
I'm
that.
speaking from first of all, so I don't know your daughter, right? I'm speaking from being a teacher and also having a 14-year-old
Mm-hmm.
daughter as well. That they're not gonna like my daughter. She's not necessarily interested in boys like that. That's not a
But they
thing for
watch.
her, right? However, she does find boys cute, and I've been having conversations with her about boys. I don't know since she's probably 9. Her mom was talking to her about the talk when she was 5, 6. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In her age bracket of having that conversation. So you want to be ahead of the curve and letting them know about the value of their body, as well as you want to be able to have the open line of communication where they will tell you, right? You don't want to be. I don't think it's good for guys that are dads to say, "Well, that's what you go talk to mom about that." No, you should be comfortable enough to talk to your daughter about that. If she has a period, you need to be able to talk to her about that. If she is think a boy is cute, she should be able to talk to you about that. You want to have that open line of communication because remember, women don't know men like that.
Mm-hmm.
Men know men like that, right? So for me, when I have a conversation with girls in the classroom or my daughter, I tell them dudes are the number one thing that dudes are trying to do is get it. And I mean, they trying to have sex with you. If he approach you, he's trying to have sex with you. Okay, that's the nature of why they came to approach you. Whether they are a Christian, whether they non-Christian, right? They are in the mode of trying to see how far they can get with you. So that starts early. So I drop it there.
Well, I know for me, as far as my daughter, what I made a person like me, protected from someone like me. Yeah, I was just real honest with her. And I let her know I was a goddamn heathen out here. And if I was a little boy around that age, I would have been to knock you and your sister off. At the same time, I would try to get with both of y'all. So I just let them know straight up, well, this is what it is. These little boys gonna try to knock you down. I'm gonna let you know you're well endowed, you're blessed, you develop well, and so yeah, they're gonna look at you even harder. And so it was kind of scary because I had to deal with that while she was in middle school. And so in middle school, I had to have that conversation about sex in 6th grade. I was nervous about having that conversation that early, but I realized, like Humble Dad said, as an elementary teacher, the conversation had to be had. We was in a situation where we found condoms in the kids' bathroom. These are 6 on up to 10, 11-year-old kids, but they're having sex that early. And it's sad, but it is what it is. And that scared me right then. I said, yeah, I need to have that conversation with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? She's a year away from being in that same elementary school I was teaching at. So yeah, I had to make sure I had to have that conversation. Like I said, way earlier than I wanted to, I expected to, but it needed to be had. And unfortunately, these other times, it is what it is. But I always, make sure, like Sean said, words of affirmation, point and tell her how beautiful he is. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna make somebody a beautiful wife someday, and I'm looking forward to being invited to the wedding. So, she ended up getting married early, and I mean, it was to the point she was so scared to tell me she's pregnant. I said, baby, I just didn't want you to do like what me and your mother did, be in college and get pregnant. You done with college. You're married now. That's your husband. What the hell does it matter if you're pregnant or not? That's between you and him. That's a beautiful thing. But she was that nervous to tell me because I emphasize that more than anything. I don't want you to be a teenage mother. I don't, and I would use family members. I don't want you to be like your cousin. She out here 16, knocked up, going to school. And I would use those examples, and I think it really helped her because it deterred her from even doing it. Now I'm not gonna say she wasn't active because I did have to put her on birth control in 8th grade because she came home with a hickey on her damn neck, and I was on her ass about that. But me and her mother had a conversation. Yeah, we need to do this. We don't want her to make the same mistake me and her did. So we put on birth control, and she was on birth control all the way through high school.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. The beauty about bringing people together with different upbringings is that you can learn some things. Because I didn't really have anybody in my family that was talking like that. But when I did talk to like Kelly, her upbringing was different than mine. And so her father would tell them everything at an early age. And the reason was because he wanted to teach it to them and not have other people and the kids teach it to them. So if you're going to get that lesson, it's going to be from me. You're going to get it early so you know what to expect. So can nobody else tell you anything that's any different? So I do encourage to have those conversations a little bit earlier. And earlier is probably better because, think about what he just said. Like 6th grade, it's even younger than that, probably now, especially with social media. You can just put something in Google now. And if you don't have no restriction on the phone and your kid has a phone, then there's going to be a bunch of stuff that pop up. Like you think TikTok, filters everything. There's some things that slip by. It may not last longer than 5 days or 3 days, but it's still up on there. So you just got to be mindful of what they're exposed to, especially now. So have those conversations as early as possible. I'm thinking even the age of like maybe 3 or 4 when they're asking like how a kid's made. You can kind of introduce something. And then as they get older, and then you also got to think about what you're doing by having that conversation. They're understanding that it's okay to discuss these things. It's not like a secret. It's not anything we got to tiptoe around. So I think it's important to have conversations with our daughters and our sons.